Hello, I'm supposed to be doing return centers. I start talking. What was I talking about? I was talking about defamation of character. I was like, the laws, because I know the law. The law is like we have freedom of speech. We all have freedom of speech. Like you could say whatever you want to say. It's free to say what you want to say. I worked in the courthouse, 15 years in the courthouse. So I can talk about what's going on in the courthouse because I was there. So I can say whatever I'm saying that they're not doing. Yeah, I can say it. Why can I say that? Because I was there and I'm telling you what they're not doing. I'm telling you what the problem is. I'm telling you about the money. I'm telling you about the court case files. They're hiding the file. I'm telling you about surrogate's court and the property. My my cousin, he had a lawsuit. It was a $2.5 million lawsuit. He won that lawsuit for lead poisoning, and the file is nowhere to be found. Somebody took the 2.5 million. Who cashed out that money? Why can't I see the file? Why I can't get I wanted to get the file to him, but they deleted the file and they took the money. $2.5 million lawsuit. I was like, okay. So like what the fuck happened? Like I still don't know what happened because the file has been deleted. This was for my cousin. So that's when I knew that they were hiding files, they were deleting files, they were stealing the money. They were stealing the money, but I can't prove that. Who deleted the file? Every person has a username and password. You need that username and password to do anything. Whatever you do, you enter something, your name is there. P. Garcia. I use my name, P. Garcia. That's what's going to pop up. P. Garcia entered that. If I delete anything, P. Garcia deleted that. Like, it's going to show what the hell, who did what, and the time and the date it was deleted. It's going to show. Everything shows. Everything is documented. That's how I know the files were missing, the court case files. And if it was won, the case was won because it was publicized. It was in the newspapers and everything that the kid won $2.5 million lawsuit for lead poisoning. And my cousin was a child at the time, so the money wasn't released because he had to be 18. His mom died, and someone adopted him. You know, but who got the money? Did the adopted mom get the money? Like, who got the money? It's $2.5 million. Where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the file? Where's the file? Because it hasn't been 30 years. It hasn't been a long time. Like, where's the file? Nobody knows. Yeah. It's something funny going on there. Even with the inheritances, where are the inheritances? Who has access to vital records? Who's printing out, the death certificates? Because you need the death certificates to file for the unclaimed property. You can't claim property on a deceased person without the death certificate. That's just a rule. But it's like, who's claiming the property? Where's the property going? Like, who? They're taking the unclaimed properties, the homes, they're falsifying the documents, they're forging the documents, they're doing all kinds of fraud. And there's nothing but straight up criminals in the courthouse. Why do I say that? Because I was there, because I'm there, and I know that there's criminals in the courthouse and they do shit. They do shit, and then they act like you too stupid to know what the fuck they're doing, or you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you tripping, or oh, that's not what you saw. But I know what the fuck I saw. I know what you said, and now you saying something else. Like you trying to flip it, and you trying to switch my words. And I know what the hell is going on. But then you can't prove it because they delete the files. They delete it and act like it doesn't exist. But then when you go into the computer and you see who entered it and who deleted it, that's how you're going to find out who did it and who got that money. That's how you're going to know. You're not going to know if you sit there and you're just looking through it. You gotta look through it. You gotta look through everything. But then it's only people with access can see that. A regular person, you're not gonna see it. It's gonna show not found, not found. Like there's nothing there. That's how it's gonna show for regular people. But if you in the system and you have access, yeah, you're gonna see who deleted it. You're gonna see who entered it. You're gonna see what happened, right? You're gonna see it. And I talk about it because I know, you know, I'm not lying there. If I'm lying, then check and prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I want you to prove me wrong. We all have freedom of speech. I don't work there. When I worked there, I signed a NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, that's saying that you can't say anything that's happening in the courthouse. So I wasn't allowed to talk about the shit that's going on in the courthouse. But I would file complaints all the time. All the time I'm filing complaints, but nobody ever did anything. Nobody ever checked. Nobody cared. Nobody did anything because they're all a part of it. The Office of Court Administration, OCA, the Inspector General's office, the IG's office. I would go to everyone and nobody would do anything. They would just take the document and do nothing with it. That's why the case file is 405 pages because it's all of the complaints as of when I was an employee. And then it's all the other stuff that happened, the sabotage of my documents, my personal and confidential information. Everything else that's popping up, like I'm talking about the insurances, not insurances, what's that shit? Property and the case files. The case files are, they're deleting it and they're taking the money. I'm like, where's the money? Where's the file? Like, I want the file. I need the file. Where is the file? Nobody knows. Like, it was never entered. The file is like it was never entered. Why is it like that? It's because they're hiding something. They stole the money. They did something. $2.5 million. Like, who the fuck got that money? So they just split it with each other. $2.5 million. Like, it's a real case. It's crazy. It's crazy. But there's no proof. I can't prove it. Freedom of speech, but I could talk about it because the NDA goes out the window because I don't work there. So I could talk about the courthouse, because I am not a court employee. And whatever. I think when we're not allowed, you can talk. You can talk about things, and you can make issues. You can talk about it. It's freedom of speech. You have the freedom to talk, freedom of speech, but you can't talk about people. You can't talk about people and defame their character. You can't talk about people and just start talking bad because you feel and and nah, they could sue you. They could sue you for defamation of character, and that is a law. That is a law. That who are you? Like, where did you come from? How do you know me? Like, what the fuck? Like, why are you saying this about me? So now I gotta prove my identity because you want to talk about me like I'm a dog. And those people, you sue them. Like, I talk about Teresa Torres. I talk about her because I know her. I know her. I work with her. She know me too. She knows me, and I know her character. I know her way of being. I know her personality. I know how she is. And she was always